Alright, welcome back. My name is Bartik, bringing you another Ashes of Creation video. If you do enjoy this content and want to see more of it, please do drop a like and subscribe. I also stream Ashes of Creation content on Twitch if you want to swing by. Today's topic is guilds, which we have some new information on with the verbal NDA drop. They are the one thing that every MMORPG has in common. Since the early days of MMOs, guilds have been formed to progress group content and as a social outlet. Being a member of a good guild can make your experience in a game, and being the target of a malicious one can ruin your experience or even the entire game. With that being said, Ashes of Creation is a game that focuses even more on group play than many recent MMOs. So what can we expect from guilds in Ashes of Creation? Let's start with what we know about guilds in Ashes of Creation. I think the most important thing that is different from a lot of other games is that in Ashes of Creation, guilds will have a fairly small maximum size. In the most recent Alpha 1 test, the starting guild size was only 30 players. Guilds will have to level up and earn points that they can invest into different progression trees. We know one of the trees will allow you to increase guild size up to a maximum size of 300 players. We were able to get our guild up to level 6 in the most recent playtest. There was only one tree available at the moment, but it looked like there would be a total of 3 different trees. Guild points were awarded as you progressed through levels, as well as when you leveled up. It cost 2 points for the first level of a skill, then 4 for the second, and 6 for the final level. A certain number of points invested was required to progress to the next tier. At guild level 6, we had approximately 23 points. So here are the perks we were able to see. At tier 1, we had Speedy Harvest, which increased harvest speed by 5, 10, and 15%, as well as Relentless, which gave 5, 10, and 15% increased health regen. At tier 2, we have Jump Training, which increases jump strength by 5, 10, and 15%, Rarity, which increases mana regen by 5, 10, and 15%, as well as Glide Training, which increases air control while falling and jumping. This could mean that glider mounts will have a drastic influence on strategy and moving throughout the world. Tier 3 was the last tree we were able to see, which had Commanding Thoughts, which increased magic disable chance, and Heavy Hands, which increased physical disable chance, each by 5, 10, and 15%. Now remember that any information from the Alpha 1 is subject to change. A lot of the systems are just placeholders, not yet balanced, or only at base functionality. This one tree that we were able to see seemed to be focused on environmental and open world perks, and we know one of the trees will focus on guild size. Although we don't have any information on the last tree, I would guess that it may have something to do with crafting and processing. This gives a lot of larger guilds a dilemma. How do you split up guilds with well over 300 members? Think about having to start dozens of 30-person guilds at the start. First off, it takes resources to even start a guild, and it's also harder to level up a smaller guild as there aren't as many players contributing to experience gains. Probably the biggest issue with splitting a guild up is the natural splintering that will occur as certain groups end up with different loyalties and priorities. This can lead to drama and issues between different factions of the same guild. If you can make each faction within the guild reliant on the other factions, this can help limit the splintering. Another thing to note is that Steven has said that he'll probably not allow any form of guild perk resets. This means that each guild needs to go into their leveling process with a plan. A guild would have to completely start over at level 1 if they decide they don't like the perks that they chose or want to switch focuses. This may encourage some of the larger guilds to level up multiple guilds with different perks after getting their main one to max level so that they can switch if needed. One thing that I have not been able to find any information on is if there will be any kind of cooldown or penalty for switching guilds. This could lead to a meta where you hop between different factions in your guild based on what you are doing at that time. I am not entirely sure the best way to prevent something like this from happening, as cooldowns and/or penalties have their own downsides associated with them. I do hope that we see something to prevent this though, as it would be a nightmare for guild leadership to manage. I will say that with guild space being such a priority, inactive members will probably be removed from guilds fairly regularly. We still need to see what kind of other perks will come with the guild size tree, But one obvious advantage of being one large guild comes from the patron system within nodes. The guilds that contribute most to a node will be able to become patrons of the node, which offers a variety of benefits. This includes the ability to claim an in-node guild hall, unlock specific node abilities for guild members, and participate in specific guild missions that will help progress the guild's leveling and development. The other option will be to split your points between multiple trees, which might be how a lot of smaller guilds spend their points. We still have to see if there are any points left over after getting the last tier in one of these trees, which I am guessing will probably be the most powerful perk. With the current information, I believe the optimal setup for large guilds will end up being at least one 300-person guild, with smaller guilds that focus heavily on combat or crafting. However, this split is going to create an interesting challenge for leaders to manage. The game will also have an in-game system for guild alliances, and while there is no member cap to an alliance, only a total of 4 guilds can join a single alliance. Alliance members will gain benefits such as shared chat, the ability to pool resources into a guild alliance bank, and quest lines specific to your alliance. I actually see this guild alliance system being used most often by single guilds to bind all of their factions together. There will be plenty of politics and alliances between guilds throughout Ashes of Creation, but they will often be spoken arrangements rather than using the official guild alliance system. One of the disadvantages to having a large guild, even split between multiple factions, aside from the management aspect, will be resource acquisition. There are going to be many rare resources and biome-specific resources that will be hard to come by. Having too many people crammed into one area mean there won't be enough resources to go around. If you try and spread out over a larger area, you will run into more issues of factions splintering due to different loyalties and priorities. And that doesn't mean it isn't doable, it just seems that Intrepid is trying to implement systems that make it more difficult for massive guilds to dominate. Conflict breeds content. The intention of this system is to give smaller guilds a competitive chance, and it is too early to tell how well this will work or not. I do know some people, including guild leaders that I have talked to, that think this is going to cause more problems than it will solve, but we will have to see with time. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, hope to see you on the next one.